Welcome, everyone, to another episode of the Express Start podcast. I'm your host, Mihai Ilioi, and tonight we are honored to welcome a special guest, Johanna Vendel. She is the author of a powerful book called Still Standing. She is the founder of the Prestige International Book Awards. She is the host of a Give Me Hope with Johanna, a podcast. And also, she is the CEO of a powerful magazine called Voice of Hope. Tonight's conversations is about something that every person understands: overcoming life challenges while holding on to hope. Welcome, Joanna. And before we speak about your accomplishments, I would love for our audience that tune in and that I will listen at a later time. I would love for them to meet the person behind all of these platforms that you are involved. And who is Johanna Vendel?
Hello, Mikai. Thank you so much for having me on your podcast today. I am sorry if my voice is not sounding too good. I have been a little ill this last 2 weeks, but we've tried this before and we had to cancel previously. So I am just so honored to be with you today. Well, Johanna is just a normal person who has also been through plenty of heartache in her life, um, trying to make a difference in someone else's life. Because if you have read my story, you will know that I have been through a lot. And for someone that has been through so much and is still standing, it takes not just energy, but a lot of courage to stand in front of everyone, telling your story sometimes. Because when you do speak about your story, your heart and your mind goes back to your loved ones that you have lost. And I have lost my entire family, Mikhail, my mom, my dad, my three sisters, and my brother. And that took me down. I could not get up. I can tell you, if it wasn't for God in my life, I don't think I would be talking to you today.
Uh, this is a powerful statement to start with being I'm just a normal person, but the life, the my I or the journey of my life took me to different places and situation of life, and being a survivor, going through the pain and suffering of life, through the troubles of life. Uh, Something was instilled deep inside of you, a hope that at the surface some people don't recognize that. But in your book, Still Standing,
Mm.
uh, you cover some experiences of life that was unexpected, and they just came towards you, it came against you. And sometimes when you expect something, you make a plan. But sometimes when things happen unexpectedly, there's no plan. And then it comes the true strength that maybe at times even you did not realize that you have it within you, this strength.
Yeah.
Can you, like, in a few words, maybe we can share with us what, or at least one life experience that really motivate you to have this name of the book, Still Standing? There's no matter what, I'm still standing. Please.
Okay. For the words still standing to have become a book, I had to first lose my entire family and I had to learn to live without them. I had to go through many, many grief um, stages, because sometimes you go through one stage with one person, you go through a different stage with a different person, because if you think about 6 people in your life that has been so close to you in your house, and they are all gone. They all had different personalities, and you miss them in a different way. They all died differently as well. First, I was a songwriter many years ago, before I've lost my entire family. My father used to write a few songs, and, he and I used to always just sing in church, and, um, whenever we get the time to just sing and be happy, we would write songs and we will just sing. And I think that's where my writing came from and my love for writing. Never thought that I would become an author because I just love to sing and I love to write songs. Um, and I wrote a few songs, about 12 songs. About 20 years ago, I started with my writing after I've lost my twin sister. And I then went through a divorce as well. And after that, I lost my mother and then my big sister, my little sister with a car crash, and then my brother. I am also an immigrant from South Africa, and I needed to come to America to have a life without stress because in South Africa, because of everything that happened to me and my family that has passed away. For instance, my mom, she was shot in her bed, and that day she actually survived her shooting, but her partner, after my dad died, she met this man 15 years later, and she was so in love with him. And he then died a month later because of the robbery and the shooting and everything that went on in their house. And just after that, my daughter, she's now 25, but she was 8 years at the time. And she went to a friend's house for the very first time that I actually allowed her to go to a friend's house on a play date by herself. Um, this has happened. There were 4 people in the house that came into their house, the friend's house now, and they tied up the whole family, and they robbed them clean. And by the end of the day, I told my husband, you know what? This is it. I cannot handle all this stress anymore. By then, I still had my big sister and my little sister and my brother. I still had them in my life. And I said to my husband, you know, I don't think I'm going to live long if I must keep on stressing like this because I was nervous all the time. So life has taken me down that road where I just couldn't handle stress anymore. Stress wasn't just stress, it was also depression because depression already started to kick in when I lost my dad and my twin sister. And then when I lost my mom, that was even worse, because you're thinking, what is this now? How am I going to live without these people? And they were your people that loved you for who you are. It doesn't matter if you were not the best daughter or um, the good girl that everyone say, my
Yeah.
daughter, I hope my daughter is a good girl, they were the people that love you unconditionally, and those are the people that I've lost. And it took me a while after everything that happened that we then moved to America in 2016. I then started to work here, and we came here the right way.
Mm.
We did all the things the correct way to come here, give our children a better life, and especially my daughter that has gone through so much, tied up and a gun to her head and a knife to her throat. She went through a lot, and I just wanted to give her a little bit of a better life. 2016, as we landed here, yesterday it was 10 years exact.
Congratulations. Welcome.
And thank you. And 2 3 days later, I get a phone call from my little sister, and she said that my big sister has just died um, from hernia, and she had a knot in her stomach. I mean, that was so unexpected, you know. And 4 years later, my little sister died in a car crash after she was hijacked. And my brother, the same year, 2020, he died with COVID. So that brought me down, down, down into this deep, deep hole of depression. And I had a choice. I had to either not live anymore, which I had many thoughts about. How will I take my own life? But this voice on my shoulder constantly tell me, what about your children, Johanna? What about your children? And I came to a point in my life where I said, okay, I either need to have a purpose in my life, and I need to know what my purpose is, because for someone, that must be the last person standing in their household. There must be a reason for me to be still standing. And for a long time, I did not sing anymore. And I decided to publish a few of my songs on Spotify and um, like Alexa and Google and all of those, you know, just a few of my songs that I published. And then I always said my very first song, which is a Christian song, was called Dink Weer. In my language, it's called Think Again.
Think again.
And I said, if I must ever write a book, my book's name is going to be called Think Again. So, my very first book, I had to get all of this heartache and brokenness out of me, because I believe that if you speak about your stories and if you write about your stories, here is my book, Life Think Again,
Think again.
that I've written, my very first book, which tells the story of my entire family, how I have lost them. I didn't think after that book that I was going to even write another book. I just needed to write down my story so that I don't have to carry it inside me anymore, but I can be able to close the book and
Oh,
put it
yeah.
down and move on with my life. And personally, in myself, I needed to have that thought in my head of, I can put the story down now. It is out of me. I don't have to carry it with me anymore. That has helped me a lot to think about it that way. Not have I thought about what my future will hold for the next 3 years of my life since writing this book. I still needed to go through a lot of grief. And that's when I wrote my second book, Navigating Through Losses and Grief, because there I explain the different stages of grief. But all of this has made me strong to write about it. And then I decided now I would like to speak on a podcast, and I want to start to tell my story. And one day I contact this one podcaster, and I wanted to tell my story. And it was Bold Brave Television.
Okay.
And this CEO of Bold Brave Television told me that, you know what? I want to offer you a podcast. I want you to be a host and help people, because your story is so powerful and people need to hear your story, because for someone that has gone through so much and they are still standing like you are, you need to help other people. So that is when I became a podcaster. Unfortunately, it's a very long story why I'm not with Bold Brave Television anymore. They've gone bankrupt and they left me hanging after about 10 episodes, and I had to do things my own way. And I decided, you know what? Maybe God just put them in my life to show me and to teach me how to become a podcaster myself, to have my own podcast. Give Me Hope with Johanna on YouTube, where I interview people who have stories similar to mine. Do you know how much that helped me to tell my story and to hear other people's story more than hearing my own story? By the end of the day, just by listening to someone else's story, you can become so much stronger because you will realize that you are not alone in this world with so much pain, because there are many other people
Yes.
who has got the same amount of pain than what I have been through. After that, I then started to realize that I am making a difference and
Yes, sir.
I'm not going to stop.
Thank you, Jonah, so much for being able to share these powerful testimonies, and you brought forward even the reality of life, that so many people around us that are going through different situations of life, or turmoil of life, or the anxiety of life. uh, they hit a place when they say, I cannot go no more. They just, I just needed to stop. I can't take it a step forward. And he already addressed that even in your situation, through the grief and pain and disappointments, and even you had the same thoughts, and you say, I can't take it another step. But something did happen. And the reason I'm trying to make this bridge, or that something that was happening inside of you, a
Yes,
hope that I can say was a living hope that strengthened you. And because the message is about the hope, the resilience, and to be a voice for your surroundings, and the people that they go through things in life, and then they might not have that living hope
yes,
side of them. And I make that distinction, having a hope, or having a living hope, because we hope, and but when we have that distinction between, I hope that tomorrow will be better. I hope that if I finish this education, I will have a career. I hope if I do write this book, I'm gonna do this. So this is the hope that encapsulate our being. But beside this hope, uh, what make me think that deeply inside of your spirit and soul was a living hope that bypass all the temporary hopes, or say, I can't take it no more, and but something inside of you raise up and they say, I can't do this. People go through turmoils, and we cannot bypass the reality of life. There's on all the preaching, the teaching, the books, the message. I really love to apply the reality of life, and the reality of life is that life at times is brutal. But
yes,
here comes the message of hope, when you can be able to say to someone, it's not all lost. I
yes,
might have a understanding, I might have an ability of comprehending the hope. I'm hoping for a better tomorrow. That's why people are waking up in the morning and they go to a job, they be responsible because they are hoping for something. But the true The true powerful message is that above that temporary hope that encapsulates our living lives is a living hope that comes, I do believe, from the eternal Father and God, our Redeemer, our Savior, that comes in the darkest moment of your life, in my life.
Yes.
Maybe when I was lonely, or maybe when you was lonely, maybe when you talk, so many members of your family pass, they're no longer with you. And you try to uh, tell someone, how you feel. And maybe you feel that no one understands me. No one understands how I feel. No one understands my brokenness. But I'm
Mm.
trying to say that in those moments, the Holy Spirit understands. It comes to comfort you. Say, Joanna, you need to make another step. You need to make another movement forward. It's hard. People go through things in life, and here you standing now. There's even the way is your book still standing, regardless the past turbulent of your life. Grief is the reality. Pain is a reality. Suffering is a reality. And all these realities that encapsulate our humanistic behavior at times will try to suppress our living hope. And I wanted to say thank you. And I commended you for having the resilience that no matter what came against your life and against your family, to rise up and to write a beautiful book called Still Standing.
Thank you. It's just like you say there. You first have to allow the Holy Spirit within you.
Yeah.
I've always been a Christian since I was little. Since I can remember, I always believed in Jesus. And I always thought, excuse me, that I am a child of God. But, when you get baptized, your parents, they make promises to God for the child that they are baptizing.
Mm.
And then you grow up. And I have realized that I have to say my own personal yes to Jesus. And I have to allow him to come into my life as an adult and to lead me to what he has planned for me in this life.
Amen.
And when I have written, after I've written my Navigating Through Losses and Grief, I wrote Unseen Tears Beneath the Mask. And there I thought, well, I was behind this mask all the time. And I need to take this mask off because this mask, it's dragging me down with all this tears that it's holding in. It's time that I need to remove this mask and for people to see the real me. Every time when I've written a book, little by little by little, something in me has sparked even more hope in my life, that I am now saying that I am going to grow so old. I'm going to live a full life because God is going to allow me to do this
Amen.
for everything that He has in store for me. And there are a lot of people that say, sometimes when you hear about a new award company getting life breathed into them, when they come and they say, oh, this is another scam, and this is this and that, this, that. I woke up one morning after I wrote my book, Still Standing, when grief could not finish me.
Yeah.
This book, this book is not like any other book. If you think about someone always just writing about all the bad things that happens in their life, and they say, yes, I've got God in my life, and now everything's good again. This book is completely different than that. Because first I had to reflect back on why the bad things happened to me. Why is my whole family taken away from me. A lot of people will say, why does God take my family away from me? I don't say that. I say God will not take your loved ones from you. God is the person or the one that's walking with you and holding you hand and holding you to be strong to walk through this time that you are going through. God is there and God is making it better for you to be able to go through all of this. And
Amen.
when you realize that and you have God in your life and you trust Him with your whole heart,
Yeah.
like I do, I know that God has a lot in store for me. And I don't want to cry about this, but it's because I'm so passionate about what I do.
Yes, yes,
And if anyone is watching this today, before you say anything about this business is a scam or this or that is that, and try to break people down who want to make a difference in life,
yeah,
then you have to first get to know the person
yes,
behind the story.
all the
Because if
time.
you know
Yeah.
me, you will know how hard I am going to work to put hope into this world
I mean, I'm
with my
watching
business.
you. I'm watching you, Joanna, and I see how much you put into all your platforms. And one of the things is you should never apologize, or you should never feel bad for doing something positive. And even this was like one of my following question, because you, as a founder of the Prestige International Book Awards, you have the opportunity to communicate to so many authors that having the same stories. And I just wanted to say, do not let no one, no matter what they say, to stop you from the I call it the mission, and
Mm,
the gift that was birthed into you to bring forth a community, regardless the name of the community, you book awards or the podcast or the magazine. You stay positive, you stay focused, because people will come and they will try to tear down, not because they just because they don't know better, not because they hate or something. And as I say, I started the Author Connect Community International platform, and thank you for being part of that. And but this is not about me today. Today is about you. But I just want to say that I did receive some messages too, unpleasant. But you see, I'm not in one dimension. I'm doing many things in life, because when you feel that there's a purpose, you should be as a vessel in the hand of the Lord to guide you to different
yes,
dimensions of life. So
yes,
besides the outdoors community, and you saw how much I offer to people for free, because this is not about money. This is
me
about
too.
a community. This is about doing something right for the people.
Yes,
And then besides that, the ministry, the church, the books I write and I give them to people for free, the aerospace. So things are happening in life, but it was not always like that. We want through things in life. And as a story, someone say one time, he came to me, say, Mike, I always cry to God because I'm carrying a heavy cross of life. And he came to me, say, I just want to ask you a question, because I was always crying to God, why my cross is so heavy. And then one day, one night when I was sleeping, I had a dream, and I saw you carrying a cross, but not only the cross, you had the post of the cross carrying it. So what's in your life? I say, God knows the burden. the pain, the suffering, the struggles. So that's what I'm trying to say. Like no matter what, there are phases in life. There are one door open, another door closes. Things of life that surround us, and when you mature and you go through different levels, is always if this is came to me just now, Joanna. If the grief could pull you down, if a family member that died could pull you down, you know, do you think someone that send you a email or something will put you down?
Mm-mm.
It's not such thing. So what does it mean? Does it mean you stay focused? You stay focused on the mission. You feel it like this. You do for the authors. You give them a
Yes.
platform. You give them a platform where they can express their pain and grief and suffering. You give them. I love the Voice of Hope magazine. You give them a place, or they can write down, their their hope, and you make
Yes.
all this. You should not apologize for that, and you should not let no one to pull down, because you went through a lot in life. So you are a survivor, and
Yes.
definitely a wrong email or somebody saying something should not affect you, Jonah. You went through, through
No,
much
to be
to that.
honest
So you
with
stay
you,
focused on what I feel like God uh, use you for this time, because this is back to the reality. We are living in a tough life. And I give you a quick story from the Bible. So here, the story of Abraham and the wife and the maid. You all know the story. It's in the Bible. So here, the maid was given to Abraham, and they had a child. When she had the child, the Sarah and everything else, they start to say, "Hey, now you have a child to the master and all this, all this." And they chase her out. And here, the maid had her child in the wilderness, in the desert, and she thought that he's gonna die because there's no water there. So she put the child in a place, and then she walk away to a certain distance and say, "I'm gonna watch how my child die." There's no hope. She was reaching that phase in her life. They say, that's all I can do right now.
mm,
I just watch how my child will die. That child can be your dream. That child can be your book awards. That child can be a mission that God bestow upon you. And then because the overwhelm of life, say, I was just watching die. But something happened. When she was in that moment of her life, the angel came, say, "What are you doing here? I have no one. My child is gonna die. I'm watching." The angel say, "Your child is not going to die. Have hope." And this is going back to the message of hope that you carry. So please stay focused. You want through a lot. You have a lot to work. You have to spend your energy on the right things. So this is your energy
yes.
right now. Stay focused on the platform, on your outdoor platforms. Stay focused on the your podcast. Is a beautiful name. Give me hope with Joanna. Who else can be there for someone that is broken, someone that was broken one time.
Who was broken?
And
I always
another,
say that you were not broken. You are still broken
yeah,
because when you are broken, um, you can definitely always mend your broken heart, but the
yeah,
cracks will always be there, and doesn't matter what happened. Your thoughts will always go back to those days that were broken, but it depends on what you do with it. Like you said, and I hope I have a saying with my prestigious International Hope Book Awards. Hope has no language, and that is why I am international,
yeah,
because I'm also an immigrant, and that is
yeah,
why I want to pull all the international people around the world to come and share the hope with the prestigious International Hope
Man,
Book
yes,
Awards so that we can share the hope in all the different languages that God has given us to speak.
yes.
And I have now already got a few countries that are involved in the prestigious International Hope Book Awards that are
Congratulations.
sharing their stories. And it is incredible to read and listen to these stories because every single story that I read, I can tell you, have made me stronger already and have made me understand my reason and my purpose that God has placed on my shoulders. And first I just started with the podcast and I didn't know what my purpose was yet, is to spread hope. But how can I reach more people, And for me to listen to other people's stories, that is what made me feel like, wow, there are so many people with so much heartache out there, incredible stories that can touch other people's lives.
Yes,
And then I started to become involved with awards, and I won a few awards for my books already.
yes,
And in these awards that I've won, they honor a lot of other books, and here and there, one or two genres was for my book. The rest were
congratulations. Yeah,
all for other genres and
yes,
thrillers and fantasy and all of those. And you think to yourself, what makes the person that they are today? Is
yeah,
their story. Their story is making them the person they are today.
yes,
Even if they write fantasy and thrillers and all of that, they by themselves have their own story as well. For them to maybe write such fantasy stories, there must have been something that triggered that for them
yes,
to write those stories. But God has different ways for us to write down our stories. And I decided to give 27 hope genres
okay,
to the authors out there to search for the genre that suits your hope story the best.
yes, yes,
27 hope genres. And I do not honor any other non-fiction fiction books if
yeah,
it does not have a story of hope in it. And that's what makes me unique. That's what makes my business unique. And this is what's going to start to spread the hope is when the author starts to spread
yes,
the other authors' hope stories as well. Because what I normally say is, and this I will speak about maybe at my awards ceremony in October as well, because I will have my very first award ceremony
congratulations.
and author of the year awards.
Yeah,
And I want to also speak about how we should not always speak about ourselves and our own hope story, but share your stories of the authors that you know
yes,
that
yes,
has also got hope stories, because sometimes the people on your platform, they are so used to your story already and they don't really want to hear another word about your
yeah,
story.
yeah,
So sometimes we need to learn, and that's then what made me feel I need to start to share other people's stories. And how am I going to do that? Is by learning and getting to know
yes,
authors who's got the same story as me. And if you go on my platform, Mikai, you will not see me talking about my own book at all, almost. I
yeah,
will go on my own Johanna Vendel page and I'll try to put my book on there, but I
Yeah,
still promote my authors so much more than me because guess what? Their books and their stories has already put so much
yeah,
love and passion in my heart that my heart is healing by the day. I
praise
cannot tell you how grateful I am that God has led me into this path because together we will touch many people's lives. And
man,
you know what they say? It takes one person, one day at a time,
man.
because tomorrow is not promised. And we have to do what we can do today to touch one more soul out there.
Today is the
And if
day.
I can do that with my story,
Yeah,
then I have done something right.
and the way you say, Joanna, uh, one voice of hope, if it's amplifying, and the multitude voice of hope, you'll reach. And the way you mentioned in the beginning, you say it's international because the hope is an international word. Why? Because
Yes,
pain is international, suffering is
yes,
international, the reality of life is international. So everyone should be able to have the opportunity to hear a message of hope. And because a few moments back you mentioned about the brokenness. Did you ever maybe thought that maybe your brokenness was a comfort for somebody else? And people is like, how? And I love sometimes when I
definitely.
have the opportunity to talk to people, to bring them back to the Word of God. And here, I think, can you hear me? Because
I
look,
can
I
hear you,
was, yeah,
yes.
okay. I think my camera went, but it's okay. We continue. If you're so, I just tell you this story. The story of Job. Everybody loves to quote Job. So Job. He had everything, and then they say God took everything, and he was all sick, and they discard him away at the gates of the city. So here, Job, on pain, no family, at the gates of the city, discarded by the people, and he was like in they call it, they say, it was like in the garbage over there. So in that situation, Job looked around and he found a broken vessel, and they say he took that broken vessel and he started to scratch to comfort himself. So that's why I had one time a message. You know, you go through life, but when you understand that your life has a purpose, you don't deny the brokenness, but you realize that your pain and your brokenness truly can be of a comfort for someone around you.
For someone
And
else,
this, we
yes.
cannot put a price for this. So I apologize because it looked like my camera was playing a game on me, but it's okay. Uh, it's about you, Joanna. So this I just want to mention that the power that never diminish or discard nothing in life, because our brokenness can be someone else's comfort and peace in the time of turmoil. So go
Yes.
ahead. Yeah.
And that is why I wrote my book, Still Standing, is to show people that when you have that brokenness, you can stand again. Um, but you have to have in your heart, you have to say, I want to do this. I
Yeah.
want God
Gotta be
to
available
say,
for
to
it.
come
Yeah.
in my life and to help me through this. I give my life to Jesus 100%. And you mustn't doubt that 1% because that 1% will let the devil come in and speak down upon you. And you will want to say, I cannot do this anymore. But as soon as you say, I do not want the devil to ever speak negative things about me anymore, you are making the decision that you want to make a difference. So, what are you going to do to make that difference?
Yes.
So, I decided to write my book, Still Standing, and describe why I am seeing life so different now. because God has already prepared me when I was an 8-year old little girl, when He made it rain and there was a fire, and our tent burned down that day when we were camping, and my little baby doll was burned. Already then, He taught me how to lose something and be okay with it.
Yes,
Never in my life had I received a baby doll again, which broke my little heart when I think about it still, you
sure.
know.
Yeah,
But that was the very first time in my mind when I had to start to reflect back on my life in my stories with my reflection that I am writing in my book, Still Standing. I had to go back that far to think when was the very first time that my heart was broken.
yes, yes,
And already just by that um, example, you have many things that has happened in your life where you thought you could not go on. But think about it again, and then
yeah,
you'll realize that just that little difference that you are now thinking about is making a difference in your life, and that is now
yes,
reflecting
yes,
on someone else's life. And they can see that in you, and it inspires them to say, if she can do it, I can do it. See, and
yes,
that is what hope is about. And then I thought to myself, how am I going to help authors out there? And when I started the prestigious International Hope Book Awards, I already had my podcast, which means is I can interview these authors and get them
yes,
on my platform for them to be on YouTube and spreading the hope like that. And I
yes,
was thinking, how can I help them even more? And then I thought to myself, if I can have a magazine that have that spreads
yes,
voices of hope,
yeah.
then that's another way we can spread this hope. And
And,
eventually
thank you, Jonah,
everyone will
for
share.
yeah, thank you for having me in your magazine. I humble and I am honored to be part of the your magazine. You allowed me to have 2 pages, and it means a lot to me. I really appreciate it so
You're
much.
very
My
welcome.
magazine. So thank you so much. And also, I would love if someone is listening tonight, and if someone will be listening at a later time, and they might feel overwhelmed, discouraged, under the pressure of anxiety, depression. What you'll want to them to know from the experiences from your times on you almost gave up, but you through your resilience uh, you kept on pressing forward. What you will
Yeah.
tell them to someone that goes through some hard time today?
Well, sometimes you feel so broken that you feel like life cannot go on anymore. But if you just stand back, just for a second, and look at all your blessings that you have in your life, and you might say, but I don't have anything. First, you will start with yourself. Look in the mirror. You are here today because God made you in His image. You
Amen.
look the way you look because He made you this way. And then you start to look at your children. You look at the roof on the head that you have. And those are the small little blessings that you must first start to look at. And when you stand back a little bit further, you realize how amazing life can be when you start to recognize those blessings because
Yes,
they all around you. Sometimes we must just look because they are there,
yes,
even though the loved ones that you have lost are not there anymore for you to see, but you can feel them in your heart and they will always be there for you But God put you on this earth to make a difference in else's life. And if this speaks to you, go tell those people in your life how much you appreciate them. And you will not believe how much nicer life can get if you just appreciate every little bit, a little bit more every day. So hold on to hope and
So
spread it international.
hold on to hope. Be a voice of hope. Stand no matter what. Still stand, and the team things will change. Wow, Joanna, you inspire me. I
Even if your voice is breaking like mine today,
yeah,
which was gone last week,
yeah. I
today I'm
thought that
still here and I'm
yeah.
gonna
You
say hi.
you sound good. You sound good, and I thought that I went through things in life, and now when I'm hearing your story, I just say, wow, what people are going through life, what happened
Oh,
in people's life, and it makes me that never take nothing for granted. Remain in humbleness and humility, because the reality of our lives, the journey of our life, how we move forward in life, having that living hope bestow on the depths of our spirit and soul from the eternity, will give us the resilience that we need and so many other people need around us. And when God is chose you to use you as a vessel
yeah.
to channel forward hope. I just wanted to pray and to pray that you'll continue to be a voice, that will
I will.
continue to be a voice of hope, and no matter what, uh, still stand. And
Yes, I will.
this is my word towards you, and uh, trying to close this year. And I apologize for my camera, just went offline, and uh,
Things happen.
unexpected things happen. Why it happened, I don't know, but it happened, and looks like I have to get a better one, but it's okay. But now, Joanna, in closing, imagine someone that listening tonight that was almost giving up. Maybe just turn the channel, maybe just follow on YouTube or on Facebook, and by accident, but I don't believe in accident. Say by the opportunity they turn into and heard your story, and they was maybe say, I can't take it no more, and they saw and they heard your story. If you could leave them with one sentence that will carry them on tomorrow. Tomorrow is no one knows tomorrow, but a sentence that you'll carry them with them on tomorrow. What that sentence will be for someone that almost is giving up today?
I know how that place feels when you feel alone. You are not alone. God
Yeah,
is always with you. And
hundred
if you
percent.
think about it, I am also there. So if you want to reach out, you're always allowed to reach out any time of the day. I will answer you, doesn't matter who you are. If you feel that you need just a little bit of hope, but if you listen to our stories on this channel and on Give Me Hope with Johanna on YouTube and read a few of the author's books that is already winners at the prestigious International Hope Book Awards, I can guarantee you one of those stories will make a difference in your life today. So pick up a book and sometimes read someone else's story, because sometimes your own story wants to take over your life. But God
Yeah,
didn't put us on this world to worry about our own stories. He put us here so that we can be there for someone else so that they can see how we carry our stories and what we do with it. Because if I gave up, I would not have been here today to tell my story. And I would not have been able to let people know that even if you lose your entire family, like me, you can still spread the hope.
That's powerful.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Jonah. That's a powerful statement. You carry a powerful testimony, and if it's any way that people can get in touch with you, you mentioned the website. If there's any other ways of authors or even people at large that they go through things in life that they can hear about you and they can find you. Maybe you can share the Facebook, the Instagram, the social media. So how people can get in touch with you? Maybe you can, in a few minutes, you can tell us.
So I do have my website at the prestigious International Hope Book Awards. There, my website is there, and you can also get me on my Gmail at Give Me Hope with Johanna.
Okay.
And if you just spell my name like it says there, Johanna with H, not Joanna with no H.
Okay.
That's Give Me Hope with Johanna at gmail.com. Then I'm on Facebook, like I said. I'm on Instagram, just as Johanna Vendel. I'm on Facebook as Johanna Maria Vendel. So it must have the little blue tick next to my name there. Then you'll see that I am the right one.
Okay. We got it.
Otherwise, I'm also LinkedIn and TikTok. I'm also on there, and just trying to spread the hope everywhere. But if you want to help me spread the hope, please come share your story with me as well on Give Me Hope with Joanna podcast. Follow me there, like and subscribe as well, and we will spread the hope together.
Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing the social media channels and
Thank you.
a way for people to get in touch with you. And as you bring this to a close, I just want to say thank you to all that tune in for this special episode of the Express Stats podcast. On we host a special guest, a powerful testimony, a powerful voice,
Thank you.
Johanna Vendel. And one more time, she's the author of many books, but one that really resonated with me was the one that's still standing because it shows the resilience and the strength that no matter what lives bring forth, you have to remain focused. And I have another saying to people that they say, I am lonely. I'll tell them that God never stopped caring for you, He never stopped loving you, and you don't have to walk alone. And now back to Joanna. She's the founder of Prestige International Book Awards, a platform open for authors to submit their books and their works with a special message of hope. She's also the host of the podcast Give Me Hope with Joanna. And do you have, Joanna, because if you are at this topic, do you have a registration form that people can file or fill up if they wanted to be on your podcast? Or they can
Uh,
just DM you?
they can just DM me or they can send me an email on Give Me Hope with Joanna at gmail.com.
So if someone wants to be part of Joanna's podcast, get in contact, send her an email, and then from there she'll have a scheduling for Voices of Hope on the podcast. Beside the Voices of Hope magazine, on she offering pages and for people to put their stories of hope. I love everything that you do, from the book awards to the podcast and to the magazine. And I wanted to sincerely thank you for taking the
You're welcome.
time to be on our podcast. Here we wanted to be able to talk the way Joanna you talk about the hope, the living hope, not to be able to talk about the reality of life, the real story, and what really happened in people's life. And I commend you, Joanna, and thank you so much. And thank you for all that was watching and tuning in today. And also, this episode, this special episode, will be uploaded to Spotify, and people can tune in on the Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, and even iHeartRadio. All you have to do is just look for the Express Start podcast, and there you got the information, and then we'll go from there. It's Saturday evening. I pray that you have a blessed weekend, a blessed Sunday.
Thank you.
Take care of your families, and remember, you never have to walk alone. Joanna, closing one more time. Thank you so much. It was nice to meet you. Uh, Finally, to have a conversation with you, and you inspire me. And I pray that our communications and will go forward as a voice of hope, a voice of resilience, a voice of the reality. Stay focused, move forward, and you already know. Stay still, still standing, no matter what. Thank you, Joanna. God bless you.
Amen.
God bless you all. We're
Thank
gonna
you.
be out. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Have a good evening, everyone.
Good evening.